On day 1, I was a little baby skunk inside a peaceful neighborhood. Wow, what a lovely evening. Just then, a raccoon appeared out of hiding.
Animal control is here! Everyone run!
All different types of animals began to scramble around the neighborhood. What? Why is everyone running? A strange man walked out in the chaos, trailing behind the frightened pack of animals without a care in the world. Who's that?
Don't worry, ma'am. My men and I have this village under control.
What makes you so different than the other guys?
Well,
He turned to a baby raccoon and shot it dead.
we use brute force when necessary. Every single trash animal will meet its grisly end by me and my team.
I knew I didn't stand a chance, so I ran away as fast as I could. On day 2, I was running for my life from animal control. After a while, I managed to find a player cutting down a tree. Thank goodness! I walked up to them to see if they could help me. Hello, sir. I was wondering if you could...
Ew! A skunk! Shoot! Get out of here!
The player took out an iron sword and began to attack me. If I wanted to survive, I had to fight back. I tried my best to defend myself, but I was just a baby. I only had 5 hearts, and a few hits too many would have been the end of me. Ah! Out of sheer desperation, I sprayed the player, causing them to swing wildly.
Ew!
I took my chance and scurried off to safety. Jeez, what did I do to them? After my run-in with the player, it was starting to get late, so I needed to find somewhere to lay low. I started by gathering wood from trees and crafting a wooden pickaxe. I then used it to gather cobblestone and upgrade to stone tools. With my new gear, I scouted out a cave and built a campfire for shelter. I wish there were other skunks around. Why can't I find any?
Because they're in hiding.
Huh? Who said that? Just then, a raccoon emerged from the shadows.
Another rejected animal, just like you.
What do you mean the skunks are in hiding?
It's a long story.
On day 3, the mysterious raccoon was explaining to me where the skunks had gone.
For millennia, certain animals have been outcasted. Raccoons, possums, rats, but none were worse off than skunks. Your people have been ostracized and hunted since the dawn of man. After a while, one skunk got tired of the hatred. He wanted his people to live in peace and harmony.
So what'd he do?
I'm getting to it.
Right, sorry.
Anyways, this skunk took his people far away from civilization, far away from animals who wish to do them harm. He built a paradise for his people, a beautiful, idyllic place, full of beauty and wonder. Find this magical city, and you will find your people and the safety you yearn for.
But how do I find it?
Fetch me some salmon, and I'll tell you how.
You got a deal. What's your name, by the way?
Salmon first.
Fine. On days 4 through 7, my new mission was to make a fishing rod. I waited until nightfall and set off in search of some spiders. Luckily, I managed to find a whole bunch in a nearby field. Sorry, guys. I jumped into battle and began to fight off the spiders one by one. They were fast and tried to swarm me with their numbers, but luckily I now had a stone sword to keep them at bay. After a lot of fighting, I had gathered plenty of string. Better call it a night. The next morning, I crafted a fishing rod and started to catch tons of salmon. Once I had wrangled enough fish, I went mining and found some coal. I wonder if any other treasure lies ahead. I kept moving and discovered a strange tunnel entrance with bones scattered around everywhere. Riches await if you dare. Maybe when I'm stronger. I returned to the surface, made a furnace, and cooked up all of the salmon. I had worked up an appetite, so I ate a bit and grew into an adult. I now had 10 hearts. Yum! Just then, the raccoon returned. Here's your salmon. Now, what's your name?
Thanks, kid. You can call me Remy.
Cool. I'm Max. Next. How do I find this magical skunk city?
Beats me, but I bet you anything the swamp possums would know a thing or two about it.
Swamp possums?
Exactly what it sounds like. Go talk to them.
Will do. Thanks, Remy. On days 8 through 11, I planned to seek out the swamp possums, but first I needed to build a proper base. I started by chopping some more trees and mining more cobblestone. Once I had enough materials, I got to work on the basic structure. I tried to use a variety of blocks to give the base its own look. Looking good, but I still need a bed. I ventured out to find some sheep, but while I was looking, I spotted an animal control agent killing a group of snakes.
That's right, you filthy animals. All of you are gonna die.
I can't let them get away with this. I jumped in the fray and began to fend off the snakes from the animal control agent.
Ew, a skunk!
The animal control worker was armed with a gun. Although it was small, it was powerful, so I had to be careful not to get hit by too many shots. I dodged the best I could and shot at him with my skunk spray. Whenever I got a chance, I went in close with my stone sword to land a few clean hits. The battle was tough, but I managed to take the worker down.
Please, don't kill me!
I'm not gonna kill you, because I need you to send a message.
Okay, what message?
Tell your boss that us skunks, possums, raccoons, rats, and other outcast animals aren't trash. And we don't need to be disposed of. Keep trying, and we're gonna start a revolt against you.
Fine, I will.
The animal control worker ran off scared, and all of the snakes squealed with joy. One of them walked up to me.
That was amazing. Do you care if we stay with you? We'd love to join your army against animal control.
Of course! On days 12 through 15, I returned to the base and built an extra room for all of the snakes to call their own. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna go talk to the swamp possums. Keep the base safe while I'm gone. I ventured out in search of the swamp, traveling through a snowy tundra, desert, and even a forest biome. Finally, I arrived at the swamp. This must be the place. Suddenly, I spotted an alligator floating in the water nearby. I quickly ducked into cover before it could see me. I knew if I got caught, I'd be gator food, so I did my best to start sneaking around them. Come on, Max, you've got this! I continued to sneak from cover to cover, doing a pretty good job of not getting seen. Okay, almost out of the weeds. To my dismay, the alligator looked directly at me. Oh god, I am so dead!
Sup, man? How you doing?
Oh, great. Do you know where the swamp possums are?
Sure do. They're in the upper northern sections. Look for the large gate.
Thanks.
Happy to help.
I continued to journey closer towards the swamp possums. Little did I know, there's something horrifying laid ahead. On days 16 through 19, I finally arrived at the swamp possum's massive gate. This must be it. I kept moving, eventually finding a unique building inside the swamp.
Oh my word, are you a skunk?
Yeah, and I'm seeking the magical Skunk City. Just then, the king possum emerged before me.
Did you say Skunk City? I will help you if you help my men defeat the mysterious monster that has been ravaging our city. They come at nightfall. Prepare yourself.
You're on! I waited with the possum guards until nightfall, unsure of what horrors awaited me. After a lot of waiting, we heard the sound of heavy footsteps.
He's here. Everyone into battle stance.
Like clockwork, all the possums played dead at the same time. That's not helpful at all!
What are you doing? Get down.
But we're supposed to fight it. Suddenly the monster made its appearance. I jumped down to confront it, and they charged in full speed.
I tried to warn you, buddy.
The wolf monster charged at me full speed and began to bite me down with its powerful jaws. It was incredibly fast and strong to boot. The beast summoned hordes of lesser wolves and spewed mythical red magic from its mouth. I did my best to evade its attacks and thin out the horde with my spray. Whenever it got too close, I beat them down with my stone axe for extra damage. I pressed through the fight and managed to take down the horrible beast. Upon their death, they dropped an insanity sword, which I took as my prize.
Oh my gosh, we did it.
Great teamwork? As the others celebrated, the king possum approached me.
Thank you for your valiant stick. As we agreed, I'll tell you more about the magical Skunk City. I knew the moment I saw you, but you're the chosen one.
What do you mean?
The skunk that founded their haven made sure all skunks were evacuated. The only problem was animal control was hot on his trail. He was forced to leave his beloved son behind. Heartbroken, he swore that his kit would one day discover how their people could rejoin society and return to the magical Skunk City.
Are you saying the founder of Skunk City is my dad?
You must be, but this is all I know. Maybe the gourmet rats could assist you further.
Thank you for everything, sir. Time to look for the gourmet rats.
Can we come with you? Us guards could be useful in your fight against animal control.
Sure, why not? On days 24 through 27, I returned to my base and started to work on a new area for the possum guards. I built a cozy room for them as well as a wall for them to keep watch.
This is fantastic. Thank you, General Max.
Just Max is fine.
Of course, General.
I walked away to a different part of the base when I almost stumbled into a trap. Ooh, that was close. Animal control must be close by. I looked around and spotted one of the animal control workers lurking in a nearby bush. Time to get a taste of your own medicine. I walked out of sight and stealthed behind the worker. Once I was close enough, I let loose a stinky spray.
Ah, the smell! It burns!
The animal control worker began to run around sporadically, eventually falling into his own trap. That's what you get for messing with an innocent skunk. I'm heading out. Here's some food.
Thanks, bud.
While he was stuck, I continued my expansion of the base. I left and began to gather up the things I needed, even locating some iron in the process. However, I noticed some mosquitoes flying into the cave I found a few days prior. What are they up to? On days 28 through 31, I ventured inside the cave I had found a while back. Surely I'm tough enough now. As I walked deeper inside, the air felt thick, and the atmosphere was creepy. I don't like it here. Just then, I spotted a sheep on its last legs. What happened? Are you okay?
Those things. I'm so weak.
The sheep died, unable to tell me what caused its wounds. I pressed onwards until arriving at an opening in the cave. There, I found a swarm of mosquitoes holding tons of sheep captive inside of a pen. Watching over them was the Mosquito Queen.
Quincy, our numbers?
Very good, McQueen. Captured 5 additional sheep just this morning.
Excellent. More rich sheep blood for me.
These monsters! Maybe mosquitoes are trash animals and deserve to be outcasts. I couldn't stand to watch this injustice, so I rushed in to confront the queen. Hey, enough of this!
Guards! Get him.
Just then, a group of mosquitoes swarmed me. I took out my sword and began to fight off the swarm with everything I had. They were overwhelming me. I fought them off with my new Blade of Insanity, and then switched to my handy-dandy skunk spray. They kept latching onto me and sucking my blood, and it was starting to weaken me. Luckily, I was able to shake them all off of me to pick them off one by one. With one final blow, I managed to take out the last of the guards, leaving the queen enraged.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
The queen charged at me, and I braced myself for the second half of the battle. She was huge, and when she latched onto me, I was worried her blood-sucking ability would bleed me dry. I used my sneak ability to try to keep her at a distance before she sucked too much blood. The battle was difficult, but I managed to take her down and claim her archaic shield as my prize. Booyah! Now that the mosquitoes were gone, I freed all the sheep from their pen.
Thank you so much, kind skunk. But we don't have anywhere to go.
You all can come stay at my place.
Perfect. This moment couldn't be any more grand.
This guy could smell better.
I led the sheep back to my place and began to build them their own area. I made sure it was as comfy as possible, and even used some additional fencing on the roof to act like mosquito nets.
Thank you dearly. As payment, please take our wool whenever you need.
Thanks! On days 36 through 39, I continued my search for the gourmet rats. I needed more clues if I was going to find the Skunk City. During my travels, I found a village, but no signs of who I was seeking. How the heck am I supposed to find the gourmet rats? Just then, I spotted a massive poster advertising the fanciest restaurant in the overworld. If I had to guess, I could find them here. I walked and walked until entering the Badlands. There, I stumbled upon a massive restaurant. It was magnificent. Wow. It was even more spectacular on the inside, lined with the finest tiled floors and tables. This place is incredible!
Ew! A skunk!
Suddenly, all of the customers were looking right at me. One of the guests jumped up from their table, and to my horror, it was the animal control officer.
Don't worry, citizens. This skunk is mine.
The officer began to shoot at me with a powerful weapon. It was more powerful than anything else I had faced before. I did my best to evade him and shot at him with my spray to defend myself, but he was just too strong. Just then, a rat scurried by. I made haste and followed them through a little hole in the wall. Inside was a mini rat restaurant. Phew, I think I'm safe in here. Rats were everywhere, doing a variety of food-related things. They were making soup, cooking meat, and only selecting the finest ingredients to do so. They were truly gourmet rats. Wow, this is incredible. Just then, a rat walked up to me.
So, your table is ready.
But
Your table is ready.
Oh, okay. Lead the way? On days 40 through 42, I followed the rats into a strange room. There, the head chef was waiting for me.
So, you come to me to ask for a favor?
Yes, sir. I need to know how to get to Skunk City.
Max, I presume?
That's me.
Your father's a real knucklehead. You know that? used to eat here a lot and would share his world-changing ideas with me over our restaurant's famous cake.
It's so yummy.
Literally delicious.
Anyways, one of these days, he's telling me his plans, but they don't seem so hypothetical no more. Says he's leaving and taking his people with him.
And where'd they go?
He said they'd have to pass through miles of cold to get there, but that's all I know. The Aardvarks might be able to assist you.
Okay, thank you so much for the help.
Don't mention it, kid, and as a gift.
The head chef handed me a gilded rat flute to aid me on my journey.
This will fire rats at your enemies. Use it wisely.
Weird, but yes, chef. On days 43 through 46, I set off in search of the Arctic aardvarks. I was traveling through the snowy tundra when I came across an icy cave guarded by a big walrus. This guy looks like he means business. I tried to walk past him, but he stopped me. I knew it.
Sorry, buddy. You haven't unlocked this area yet.
I haven't unlocked it yet?
Yeah. Come back when you're stronger, bub.
Stronger? What's in there?
A whole world of powerful beasts and great treasures lies beyond. Return when you've gained 3 more hearts, and you may enter.
Alright, you got it, boss. I turned back, hoping to get stronger as fast as possible. As I was traveling, I came across an aardvark being attacked by animal control. Oh no! I'll help you, buddy! I charged in and started fighting off the animal control. He was armed with a powerful shotgun, so I couldn't get too close to him. Instead, I kept my distance and shot my spray attack while the aardvark dealt some melee damage. Since we outnumbered him, we actually stood a chance. The animal control worker was forced to split his attention between the two of us. Whenever he was focused on the aardvark, I would use my insanity sword to slash him down. Just as I was starting to get the upper hand, more animal control showed up. Oh no! There's too many of them!
Quick, follow me!
I followed the aardvark and he led me to a place where we'd be safe from our attackers.
Ew, I sure am lucky you showed up when you did. I owe you one.
Don't worry about it. Actually, now that I think about it, do you happen to know anything about the Arctic aardvarks?
Of course I do. Why?
I need to find them and locate my skunk family.
The Grand Aardvark would know about the skunks. I could take you to them right now.
Awesome! On days 47 through 48, we arrived at the home of the Arctic aardvarks, but nobody was there. Where'd everybody go?
I don't know. I wasn't even gone that long.
We started searching around for clues to their disappearance, but we weren't finding anything. What?
You better come see this.
I went over to check it out, and it was a dead body. That's not a good sign. Suddenly, a mysterious figure scurried past. Hey! Stop right there! I chased after the suspect, but they were too fast. I lost them and they scurried off. That thing was fast. I wonder what it was. I looked around and found something the suspect dropped on the ground. It was a big leaf. Who leaves something like this behind?
I know who. The giant ants.
Giant ants?
Yeah, they must have taken all of my people, including the Grand Aardvark.
Shoot. Looks like we're paying these giant ants a visit. My aardvark friend led me to a huge anthill, but then he stopped.
All right, this is where I leave you. They should be in there.
You're not coming with me?
No way! Those guys are way too freaky for me.
With that, I said my goodbyes to the aardvark. I made my way into the anthill and descended into a maze of tunnels. I tried to be sneaky, but eventually I ran into some ants.
Hey, what are you doing here?
I'm an ant! Ha! Yeah, that's me.
No, you're not. You're clearly a skunk.
Yeah, we could taste you from here.
Dude, don't say that. That's weird.
Where are you keeping the Grand Aardvark?
That guy? His people have been eating our babies for generations. He's locked away for good.
Your babies? Boy, that is not a good look. Can I at least speak with him?
He's not accepting visitors at this time. You'll have to come back,
Never!
Yeah, come back never.
I don't have time for this. I gotta find my dad. Let me see him.
If you want to see him, you're gonna have to get through us.
I quickly bolted away from the giant ants, but they followed me. We found ourselves in a large dirt room. There was nowhere to go, so I began battling it out with the giant ants. No matter what I did, they weren't showing any signs of letting up. I tried to use my rats on them, but they were too scared.
Oh, come on, guys!
One of the ants sent chunks of dirt at me from afar, while the other came in close with a flurry of slashing attacks. This made it difficult to evade attacks, but I did my best to keep my distance. Since my rat flute was useless, I started shooting at the ants with my skunk spray. This gave me the upper hand, each hit causing the ants to take big damage.
How do you like the taste of that?
It burns!
Despite their power and numbers, eventually I was able to fight my way through the two of them and make my way to the jail tunnel. On days 53 through 56, I went into the jail tunnel and found the Grand Aardvark. There he is! Before I could get to him, a big mama ant dropped in front of my path.
Oh boy. Surely we can talk this through?
Ah, dang. She attacked, and I fought her off with all of my might. She was tougher than all the other ants combined and had the ability to send scorching blue flames. She charged at me with incredible power and launched fireballs at me whenever I tried to escape her. I had to be careful not to get hit too much, otherwise I was finished. I used everything I had in my arsenal to dwindle down her health, including my spray and insanity blade. Luckily, I was beginning to get the upper hand. We fought for a while until I was finally able to wear her down and take her out. When she died, she dropped a key to the cage, and I also gained 5 hearts.
Sweet! I've got enough hearts to return to that walrus now. But first, I had to talk to this baby-eating dude.
Excuse me, are you the Grand Aardvark?
Why, yes, that is it.
Can you tell me anything about the location of Skunk City?
I always hated you skunks.
What?
They passed through our home on the way to founding their city and asked us for food. When they realized we ate ants, they refused our hospitality because eating fellow trash animals is wrong. They left, but their stench lingered for days. They stunk up the place so bad it drew the attention of these giant ants. Turns out we were eating their babies all along, but we thought they were just regular ants. When they realized we were eating all of their babies,
oof, that's pretty rough.
They vowed to get revenge on us and have terrorized our homes ever since.
Well, you did eat a bunch of babies, and you hate skunks. Sounds like you kinda deserve to be in here. Bye!
Wait, no, please. I'll tell you where they went next if you let me go.
Alright, start talking, freak.
Well, I don't have much to say, really. I just have this map, but that should lead you in the right direction. But hey, they went that way with empty stomachs, so who knows if they made it. Boy, I sure am craving some baby ants right now.
Thanks, creep. I dropped the key outside the cage and left him there.
Wait, no, please, let me out.
Who knows? Maybe your aardvark buddy will come help you.
No.
On my way back to my base, I decided to present my newly gained hearts to the walrus. Found out that it was a massive dungeon. With my new strength, I was able to hold my own against them. The more enemies I slayed, the more confident I became in my abilities.
Are you not entertained?
Suddenly, a strong Cyclops monster appeared before me.
I guess I spoke too soon.
The Cyclops charged at me and kept trying to pick me up and eat me. I tried using my rats again, but they didn't help at all.
Stupid flute!
I used my trusty sting to fend him off, and he wasn't able to pick me up. I started whacking him with my insanity sword, and slowly I was wearing him down. The battle was tougher than anything I had faced so far, but I managed to prevail. Upon the monster's death, they dropped a legendary chestplate and sword.
I am unstoppable!
I continued to explore the dungeon when I came across a massive door. What does this lead to? I tried my best to get inside when a massive animal control worker confronted me.
Hey, he's trying to get into the vault!
The guard began to fire a ton of powerful attacks at me. One hit too many and I'd be a goner. I tried to defend myself, but I knew in my current state I was too weak. Not even my legendary weapon was enough to take him down. I was forced to flee for the time being.
Ha ha! You only have 15 hearts? Pathetic. You'll need at least 20 hearts to take me on.
I guess I'll have to come back when I'm stronger. On days 60 through 63, I got back home a little upset about the aardvarks.
I could have told you the aardvarks were jerks.
Remy!
Hi. Need a place to stay. Mind if I crash here?
I told him of course not, and quickly started building him a room. I knew he liked his privacy, so I built him a tall room away from the other residents. I love it!
I do too. Thanks, kid.
Remy then tossed me some salmon for my troubles. Well, I guess now is as good of a time as any to continue looking for Skunk City. With that, I left my base. I traveled for a while. While doing so, though, I heard laughing. Wonder what that's about. I looked into it, finding a wolf bullying a duck.
What are you gonna do, ugly duckling? Go cry to your friends? Oh yeah, that's right. You don't have any.
Stop it! I do have friends.
Oh yeah? Prove it.
Well...
Just then, I decided to step in. Hey, BFF, you ready to hang out?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you have one friend. Whatever. Bye, nerds.
With that, the bully wolf walked away.
Thank you so much.
Don't mention it. Here's a map to my base if you ever want to hang out with your other friends. On days 64 through 66, I followed the map I had gotten from the aardvarks and arrived at a giant wheat field. It's so peaceful here. The skunks must have passed through here safely. Just then, a crow ran up to me in a frenzy.
Help! Monsters have been invading our wheat fields.
Monsters? But it's so quiet. I'll take a look. I headed deeper and deeper into the fields. The further I went, the more I saw crows running away.
Ah! Run for your lives!
It's gonna eat us!
Boop. I knew I was getting close. I prepared myself to spray as I emerged from the wheat, only to find a scarecrow. Huh, that was a bit anticlimactic. I broke off the head of the scarecrow and continued on to take care of the others. I broke head after head of different scarecrows until only one remained. However, this one looked a bit off.
I got you now, pest.
The scarecrow was actually an animal control worker. They charged full speed and attacked. He pulled out a Tommy gun and started shooting at me, so I used my dragon bone sword to hit him with some lightning strikes. He chased me through the wheat field as I sprayed back at him with my stink bombs. Finally, I used my insanity sword to do some more damage on him. I tried calling in the rats, but as usual, they were really no help at all. After some back and forth, I managed to take down the worker and even gained a few hearts in the process.
Oh my gosh, he did it! He slayed all the beasts!
As the crows rejoiced, the elder crow emerged before me.
Thank you for saving our lands. How can we repay you?
I would like to know the whereabouts of my people. On days 67 through 70, the elder crow began to tell me information about Skunk City.
Here's everything I know. The skunks passed through here hungry some time ago, so we offered them our wheat in exchange for refuge in their city. The leader of the skunks said it was unfortunately a sanctuary only for skunk kind, and that the stench would be unbearable for any other creature to live there. Instead, he taught us how to make bread with our wheat, which became a food my people thrive on even now. Our partnership began. To facilitate, the leader of the skunks told us a location where we could communicate with him again.
So you know where I can speak with my dad?
Yes. Follow this map, and maybe you will be able to talk to him.
Thank you! One of the crows walked up to me and asked if they could join my cause. The more the merrier. Suddenly, additional animal control workers appeared.
Capture the skunk!
Run! I got this! The crows all fled, leaving me to take on the workers myself. They all started shooting at me with shotguns, and I was worried I wouldn't make it. I tried fighting them off with my stink bombs, but they were way too powerful. Despite my valiant efforts, they outnumbered me and I blacked out. On day 71, I woke up inside of a cage at Animal Control HQ. No! I have to talk to my dad! Just then, the head of Animal Control walked up to me.
Well, well, well. If it isn't the little skunk that's been stinking up my plans.
Why don't you just kill me now?
Because we have something bigger planned. Something related to your precious Skunk City.
No! The officer left, and I had no time to waste. I needed to get out of here. I started by trying to mine the bars, but they wouldn't budge. Time for plan B. I used my stench to disintegrate the bars. To my surprise, they vanished into thin air. I hightailed it out of the facility, and on my way home, I realized I was close to the dungeon from before. I was stronger now, so I went to confront the big dude.
Oi, you're looking a lot stronger. How about we have ourselves a brawl?
You're on! The guard began to unload his minigun, tearing into me just like the fight previously. Unfortunately for him, I had much more endurance this time. I shot at him with my spray attack to disorient him, and then used my insanity sword to deal some major damage. Even with my additional hearts, his bullets were powerful, so I used the pillars around me to my advantage. I ducked and weaved between cover and fired my own attacks whenever there was an opening. After a fierce battle, I managed to best the animal control worker.
That was a good fight. You made me realize I never wanted to be a bodyguard. I quit. I'm going to pursue my dreams of dancing.
You got this, dude. I passed through the vault door and discovered a mythical flesh eater sword as well as a note. We now know Skunk City is real. Once we find it, Animal Control will harness the power of its stench to eliminate all trash animals once and for all. They're gonna use my people as a bomb? I need to find my dad ASAP. On days 72 through 75, I left the vault and continued the search for my dad. Now more than ever, I needed to find him. On the way, I did some fishing and cooked it up in a furnace for a snack later. I even passed a villager who was making fun of me.
You're so stinky! You're a joke!
Oh yeah? I let loose a big spray onto the villager who started freaking out. Well, now you're stinky too! I continued onwards until finally arriving at a giant obsidian building. This must be it. I went inside only to find a low nether portal. Huh? Nowhere to go but forward. I traveled through the portal and walked into another room. In this one, the middle was divided by a glass pane. Weird. Suddenly, an albino skunk entered from the other side. Dad?
Huh? No, I'm Jim. I'm your father's right-hand man.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you, Jim.
I don't know how to tell you this, but your dad is sick.
What? Oh no, that's horrible.
He only has a matter of weeks left, unless you can make him the cure.
Oh, good. There's a cure. What do I need to get? He walked over to a trapdoor on the side of the building and dropped some items.
Here's a list of ingredients you'll need to find, and a little something to help you on your journey. First ingredient's protected by the cat clan. Be careful, those stuck-up felines hate us skunks. Return here with all the ingredients, and I'll escort you to Skunk City.
Thank you, and be careful. Animal Control is on our tail.
Don't worry, we are prepared to protect our home.
With that, we parted ways and I returned to the overworld. Outside of the portal, there was a hole in the ground that I almost fell into. Whoa, another trap. I knew they were following me. I gotta be more careful. I built some blocks over the trap so no one else would fall in, and returned to my base to prepare. When I got there, I finally built a room for the crows, and I read the ingredients. Catnip, honey, and electrite. That shouldn't be too tough. Now that the place was in good shape, I ventured out to find some catnip for my dad. On days 79 through 82, I set off in search of the cat clan. I came across a town made of colorful wool, but all of the cats were watching me intently from the roofs of their homes. Hello? Just then, the leader of the cat clan emerged.
Why is there a pathetic skunk in our village?
Please, I need catnip. My dad is sick.
I would never give our most prized medicine to a filthy animal like you.
Suddenly, there was a strange, adorable howling in the distance.
Oh no, they're here.
Who's here? A little baby puppy came out of nowhere and started chasing the leader around the village. The little guy chased her right up into a tree.
Don't just stand there, do something!
But I thought I was filthy.
Ah, please!
Fine. I reluctantly sprayed the dog, and he really hated it.
Ah, my nose!
The puppy ran off into the sunset, and the cat came down from her tree.
Thank you for your help, Skunk.
Do I get a reward for helping?
Yes, I suppose you do. Here is some catnip.
Yes! On days 83 through 86, I was seeking the next ingredient on my list. Honey. Bees will have plenty of that. I traveled to the domain of the bees, only to find it full of smoke. I don't see a fire around here. What happened? Against my best judgment, I ventured forward, finding the queen. Ma'am, are you okay? Why is there smoke everywhere?
I'm alright for now. Animal Control has been tightening their grip on us bees. They're filling our homes with smoke to suffocate our kind.
What can I do to help?
Animal Control was last seen in our northern colonies. They might still be there.
I went up north like the queen said, finding an animal control worker launching bombs onto hives. I wasn't gonna stand for it, so I charged in to fight the worker. The worker had made a big mistake laying down so much smoke. With the air so thick, it was hard for him to see me coming. I dodged and weaved through the clouds, and used my flesh eater sword to launch wither skulls at him. All the worker could do was mindlessly shoot at me. He went down easy, and I gained another heart. I went back to the queen to report the good news.
My warmest thanks, my brave and stinky skunk. Please, as a gift.
She then tossed me some honey. Thanks.
Hey, you mind if we tag along with you? We'd like to help you fight back against animal control.
I'd love that. We returned back to the base where I built them a room. I made sure to include different bee-centric blocks to make them feel more at home. After that, I turned my attention back to the cure for my dad. I have one more ingredient, but I don't know where to go.
I can help.
On days 87 through 90, Remy and I were discussing the final ingredient to my dad's cure.
It's in the possession of the raccoons.
Awesome. Can't you just get it for me?
No, not without something to trade. That's the only way they'd give it to me.
Remy then tossed me a map to a mysterious treasure.
Get that treasure and I'll take care of the rest. But be warned, this area has been taken over by animal control.
I got this. Thanks, Remy. With that, I began to head off towards the location of the map. After some traveling, I arrived, finding the place full of traps and animals stuck in cages. This is horrible. I then freed all of the animals from their cages and gave them a map to my base. After that, I kept moving, eventually discovering a giant bomb with skunks trapped around it. It looked like it was about to blow. This must be the prototype of the stink bomb. I have to stop them. I rushed in and started breaking the skunks out when a guard appeared.
Stop right there.
With no time to waste, they began to attack me. On days 91 through 92, I did my best to fight off the guard. He went at me up close with a dagger, dealing good amounts of damage to me. I tried to use a variety of weapons, including my flesh eater to shoot wither skulls, skunk spray, and lightning dragon bone sword, all to deal damage from afar. The range I had seemed to be giving me an advantage. After a lot of fighting, it seemed like the worker was on his last leg. He drank a potion though, becoming a huge and empowered monster. With his increased strength, he now was able to wield a massive sword. He charged at me with 10 times the power from before, changing the tide of battle. Even so, I couldn't give up. I did my best to evade his attacks while I continued to fire everything I had. Hit by hit, I brought myself closer to victory. I stayed strong, finally defeating the superpowered guard. Finally! Upon their death, they dropped a gem helmet. After that, I quickly freed all of the skunks from their captivity. How did Animal Control manage to find you guys? Skunk City is so well hidden.
Well, we were looking for ingredients to save your dad, but we ended up getting caught. Animal Control is getting dangerously close to finding Skunk City.
Agreed. Go home and prepare in case they do find it. With that, they returned to the city and I followed my new map. After some walking, I found the treasure. Finally! I can't wait to see Skunk City! I opened the chest and realized it was just a trash can. Weird. I quickly returned home and gave Remy the treasure.
This is perfect. I'll be back in a few days once the trade is done.
On days 93 through 95, I decided it was time to build some rooms for all of the new residents. After that was done, I decided to make everything at the base a little more skunk-like, using a bunch of white and black wool. I hope my smell doesn't offend all my new friends. Just in case, I planted flowers all around to try and make the smell a little less bad. With that, my base was finally complete. Now that's home. After spending some time admiring my finished base, it was time to go out mining for some diamonds. I found some and made myself some armor to prepare for the upcoming battle. Okay, now I'm ready. Just then, Remy returned to give me the final ingredient for the cure.
Here it is.
Awesome! With the cure ready, it was time to celebrate. I threw a little party with all of my friends, and the gourmet rats even catered the event. Thank you all for coming to my party. This is amazing!
Thank you for everything you've done for us, Max.
Yeah, you gave us all a home.
They handed me a potion of regeneration. Wow, thank you so much, guys. Suddenly, Jim appeared with some bad news.
Max, I'm sorry to say your dad is starting to take a turn for the worse.
Then there's no time to waste. Take me to Skunk City. On days 96 through 98, I arrived in Skunk City with Jim. The place was absolutely breathtaking, but I didn't have time to look around right now. I rushed to my dad and gave Jim everything he needed for the potion. Jim, what's going on?
I'm next in line for leader. That's why I poisoned your father.
You monster!
And now I'm going to use the cure to empower myself instead.
I'm not gonna let that happen. Jim immediately began spraying and I blocked every attack that came my way. Dodging and weaving around, I pulled out my flesh eater to launch wither skulls in his direction. He maneuvered around my attacks, but I had more weapons in my arsenal. Using my skunk spray, I dealt the final blow and secured my victory. Upon his death, he dropped the cure, giving me just enough time to make it to my father. He drank it up, making him feel better.
Son, I never thought I would see you again. I missed you so much.
I'm so glad to see you, Dad.
I'm so proud of you. It really seems like you've taken after your old man.
Without warning, the animal control officer arrived and took my dad.
Finally, with the skunk's leader in my grasp, they have to let me harness their stench.
No! The officer began to hit me repeatedly, pushing me down from the building. I was falling to my potential death, and my life flashed before my eyes. I remembered everything that had happened to bring me up to this point. All the friends I had made, the trials I had to overcome, and the clues I had found to finally bring me to Skunk City and my dad. All of this, only for it all to slip through my fingers. I guess this is the end. As I came to, I saw a fellow skunk place water on the ground to save me. Oh my gosh! Thank you!
Don't thank me too soon. Animal control has infiltrated our city.
What? I ran back into Skunk City to find an epic battle between skunks and animal control. I gotta help! It was an all-out war between humans and animals. All of the residents were teaming up as a group to stop animal control.
Get off me!
I stepped in to help my skunk comrades wherever I could. There was stink spray and bullets flying everywhere. I used everything I had to help take out guard after guard. My lightning dragon bone sword in particular was able to zap any animal control guards that dared to group up. I sent wither skulls flying into the pack and unleashed my skunk spray to tear them apart. We were actually winning. Just as we thought we were getting the upper hand, animal control sent in the guard dogs. They began to tear through our army, making an already tough battle even tougher. I don't have time for this!
Go after your dad. We'll take care of things here.
I'm on it. I ran off and began to scale up the main building once again. It was time to end things once and for all. On day 100, I arrived at the peak of Skunk City's Capitol building to find that the animal control officer had already set up his stink bomb contraption. At the center of it was my dad. Your bloodshed ends here, officer. Let my dad go.
You fool! Soon I'll use the stink of both you and your precious people to eliminate all trash animals!
We're not trash! We're living creatures just like the rest of you!
Now, you guys are merely pests, and I must eliminate you all.
Pests? We want to live peacefully in our city!
You want to live here so you can all be concentrated together? Your smell is unbearable.
We can't help that we stink. That's just the way we are.
Enough of this nonsense. You will no longer inconvenience the overworld when you're dead.
The AC officer pulled out his ultimate weapon and began to attack me. He lit me ablaze, as well as the area around us. I ran as fast as I could to avoid the hail of bullets, but there were just so many. Luckily, I was small and agile, so it became very difficult for him to hit me. I used my skunk spray and flesh eater to attack him from a distance, and whenever I had the time, I'd eat to gain some hearts back. The battle was my toughest yet, but with one final blow, I managed to kill the animal control officer. I did it! I rushed to the bomb and freed my dad from his prison. We were finally reunited and Skunk City was saved. Woohoo!